Hey everybody, Anthony, 4x4 diesel. Bit of an important one here because, mate, lucky, you sort of just saved about $3,000 in a whole heap of effort replacing the injectors. Why? Because they've already been done. How long ago do you reckon it was that you got the injector kit off me and replaced these?
Several years. Yeah.
5 years maybe?
Yeah, probably.
So 5 years, 130,000 Ks, wasn't it? Or
Roughly.
Something they've done. And Rocco's a little bit concerned, you know, it's a diesel, makes a bit of noise. So we've got to balance it out here that obviously people that should replace their injectors, some of them aren't. They think, oh yeah, it'll be right. I've never changed mine, it's still going all right. So you can do that if you like. And then you got a bunch of people that sort of, you know, worry a bit. So don't worry. And with the 150 Prado, the injectors we supply, they're full DLC. The ones we supply in our kit. Actually, I'll just answer a question there. Somebody's put in the comments again, and it happens quite a bit. How do I contact you to get an injector kit? You just keep watching videos. Eventually, you'll find the phone number. It's actually listed on the YouTube channel. It's listed on the Prado Hospital Facebook page. I put it up all the time. So just keep watching videos and you'll find it. And send me a text message. And just keep watching videos, you'll figure it out. There's a playlist called How to Buy My Kits. I reckon you might find something in there. But look, injectors are done. What we supply, full DLC, and they should last. Our general guide 7 years, 170, and they're probably going to last longer than 7 years and maybe longer than 170. Some people report injectors get noisy from about 150, but I note that was all the original ones. From about 150, I think a couple 100,000 Ks is what you're going to get out of these, or whether it's even a 1GD, about the same is probably a good time, maybe a little bit longer. They're about the same as each other as far as lifetime, wear and tear, that sort of thing. On the 1GD, replacing injectors isn't a big concern because it's a completely different engine and it's not going to crack pistons. It's got its own other set of problems, but it's not going to be durability of the actual engine itself, other than the timing chain guide seems to be the weak link with maybe a lack of lubrication or quality of oil sort of thing. So oil changes every 5,000 Ks on the 1GDs are really important, but on this one, so I didn't realise the details. He said, yep, no worries, I'll come pick up an injector kit. You did it yourself last time, right? I've got the story right so far. Does it sound right so far?
Correct.
And he thought it was a bit noisy. Yeah, would it sound noisy?
Rattly,
what, just dropped?
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. So turned up yesterday, and of course, as I do, I asked a few questions and said, hey, you know, well, hang on, well, what are you realising? Oh, a bit noisy. I said, I don't know, and I didn't even bother listening to it yesterday, did I? I said, I already know it's going to be fine. And so here he is with a handful of money and waiting to take an injector kit, and I've basically talked you out of it. Is that how it went, pretty much?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, but I said, look, what I'd rather do, because have I serviced or even inspected, looked at, I haven't even seen this vehicle really, have I? No? So I'd rather take you 250 and spend an hour and a half and look at the vehicle, have a chit chat, see if you're on the right track with your maintenance, let you know what needs to be done, what you've missed, and we've already picked a few small things, but a few things already that you can attend to. No big deal, that's for sure, but you know, a bit of chit chat on a few things, and maybe a bit of a mistake, I suppose, not getting the BFE kit maybe, because you might have spent more money replacing pulleys and stuff like that, and you still haven't had that bearing down the bottom there that you got to buy. Anyway, BFE playlist is the other one you need to look at. So look, there's nothing wrong with this here. So no, sorry, you're not getting injectors. We're going to put it up on the hoist, have a look underneath, see if there's something that we can see. You're going to see the typical sort of stuff, I think. How many Ks is this done now? Was it?
Just under 300.
Just under 300,000 Ks. So you think, again, years ago, 300,000 Ks, you'd be going, oh, mate, there's all sorts of things that need replacing on cars. But now, 300, we're not going to see much. But let's have a look at those lower control arms. Let's have a look at the sweat on that rack boot. All the usual stuff. Let's have a quick look around. I think there's a lot to see. And stick around on our other YouTube channel as well, 4x4 Adventures, because I'm going to put a little review on the roof rack, because I happened to notice it, and I noticed these things. There it is. There's a Rhino rack there, and it's on a backbone system. And what part of looking at the car is, I got up there and I was banging around on the roof rack, and I noticed, as I have on many other Rhino racks and other makes and models of roof racks, there is a lot more play and movement in it. Wouldn't you agree, watching what I was doing?
Yeah, vibration.
Yeah, a lot more movement in it than the Titan tray we've got over there with the ridge mount system. A lot more solid, and you're saying this does make noise?
Yeah.
Pretty noisy. And
that's very noisy.
Very noisy, there you go. So when I drive customers' cars and I go, wow, that's noisy. I couldn't handle a trip for thousands of Ks like that. I actually pull over on the side of the road. One time I did a review showing one. I think it was on a Prado, on the side of the road, literally. And, mate, it's got quite a few thousand views there. And it was just so noisy. In fact, it's just what it is. I couldn't handle that, driving around for thousands of Ks all day, every day, going with that noise. I was told the Titan tray is stronger. I noticed that it's cheaper, and it's certainly quiet, like to the point that you virtually wouldn't know it's there. But if you turn your radio off and listen really hard and everything else was 100% quiet, you could probably hear something to say, yeah, there's a roof rack there, but it's quiet. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be on 4before Adventures, a bit more detail, same as this YouTube channel, 4before Diesel, except Adventures. So catch you on that one if you want to know more about that in a bit more detail. Let's get this up in the air and have a bit of a look and see what we can find.
Oh, geez. Looks like I've got a split in the lower ball joint already.
Come on, mate. Who's doing this inspection, you or me? Just joking around, people. That's pretty standard, see? And that's why you bring it here once a year, or...
It's not a split?
No. That's just, look, it's just a bit of... Look, you got aftermarket suspension. It's going to have a little bit more travel outside Toyota's planned parameters type thing. And so it's going to, you know, and you got KDSS, right? So that probably lets things go and lets it move a bit more. Little bit extra movement, and 300, remember what was that, 300, it's just a little bit of grease coming out. I haven't looked yet, I'm going to put my money on this side's probably about the same. A little bit of wetness, a little bit less grease. There's no split, mate. Toyota boot quality, happy days, right? Now, no sweat on the bottom of that rack boot, so that's a bonus. So you can see, people, the usual sweat about halfway, very minor. We're not even talking about that. It's all there's a playlist called Service Inspection. Watch all those videos and you can do this yourself. But I'd probably recommend maybe come and see me every now and then. Like I'll say once a year. Oh yeah, now you've pointed out something. Maybe you are doing this inspection. But is that water leaking down from something else, or is that definitely, that looks like the condenser?
Do
you know something about it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oil cooler.
Oh, right.
Cooler.
Oh, you've added the cooler.
Leaking.
Oh, right, okay. Because I'm starting to look at the condenser going, we got an aircon, we've never seen this before on one of these.
The trans cooler.
Yeah, cool. And that's the thing, if you put aftermarket coolers, people, just remember, make sure it's Mickey Mouse, because every aftermarket accessory is what's going to cause a leak. So, yeah.
I didn't tighten up the clamp enough.
Enough, yeah. So when you get to your cleaning, just spray all your degreaser up there and give it a good blast out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't get to the bottom.
That's it. Just check all the, exactly, no excuses. All these bolts, people, just check them every now and then when you service your car. Check that bottom bolt there, that nut there, because people have those come loose. They do their DIY suspension install sometimes and they forget to tighten it up, or whatever happens, maybe not enough. So it looks like you've changed the alternator at some stage, was that you?
Correct.
And lost a bolt and put a different aftermarket bolt in there by the looks of it. And we've got one of those Holden forward hose clamps down there as well. Okay, so let's have a look. I reckon these arms might be better than the usual GXL because of the KDSS reducing the amount of twist in the bushes. I know that one's starting to see the split there. It's about 20%, 25, 30% max, so don't worry about it yet. Just something to keep an eye on. That one's a bit more actually. That one's about 30 to 40% through, I reckon, as you can see. People that watch the videos know what I'm talking. I'm not going to go into too much detail with my little pointer. You can see the rubber starts there on the left side of the picture. The split comes in towards the bottom there, and then the other half's all right. So you're about 40% split. Keep an eye on that. If it gets, look, often they get to that point and then they stay like that. That one's looking a bit average. So look, for people that hung around this late in the video, if you're around Melbourne, our friends, our workshop partner in Sunshine, have actually made up a jig to be able to press those bushes, and should work pretty easily. I'm keeping the bushes in stock, so come and see me with your folding, grab your bushes and then book in with them. And you can either, if you like doing stuff yourself, you can pull these arms out yourself and then take the arms there, and then, you know, probably for a few boxes they'll do the pressing of the bushes. Or if you don't, then you just take it there and they can pull the arms out, and there'll be a few more boxes or some of the usual stuff you trade with. Now, unfortunate to have a bit of an issue with this transmission. I'm not sure what the issue really was, but somebody worked on it as the main thing. There's a lot of grease going in that drive line. You can probably go a little bit less on the grease It's good that it's lubricated, but probably a little bit less, I reckon.
I think because I've just done it recently.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably why.
Yeah.
I usually clean the excess off.
That's all right. So has this transmission been out? Let's try and find some evidence, because that's the story. Let's see.
The arrow?
Yeah.
I don't know who did that.
Yeah, look, I can't remember if that's a Toyota thing or... I don't remember. Because I don't really look at them that closely. How long ago was this transmission supposed to have been out?
Probably in excess of 5 years.
Well, it's got a cork gasket, so there's definitely something going on there. And it's a long time ago, so it's going to be harder to tell. But... just going to have a bit of an aftermarket exhaust. It's a bit big. Yeah. So, and you've already done a turbo, is that right?
Yes.
Turbo looks pretty good. Yeah. Nice new one. How long ago? A couple of years ago?
Yeah, probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, so look, as I said, the turbo guy says bigger exhaust allow overboost, and that overboost is what wrecks the turbos. That's what he says. I'd tend to agree that's a contributor. I'm just trying to look at the heads of those bolts to go, has the transmission been out, or find some evidence, some marks. Like, you know, that looks a little bit like they've spun the socket on that a little bit, so probably, you know, because we've got some doubts about what really happened. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Slight doubts.
sounds like a story, but yeah. I can't see up there. People, you have a look on those nuts up there on the camera. Let us know in the comments. They look like they've been worked on, don't they? From what I can see in the screen of the camera, because I can't quite see up there. Normally they mess up the wiring, but the wiring up there, it's all clipped in pretty good. See those clips up there, that one, the one further back up there. It all looks like they've clipped it back in, which is normally they just rip stuff off. Hang on a minute, there's something that's not clipped in. Have you got aftermarket breathers or something?
No.
Oh yeah, there's something that's not clipped in then, so they have worked on it.
Right,
see that breather line there?
Yeah.
And you can see that white clip up the top there,
Yeah.
because this vacuum line here probably needs to be carefully lifted up. They probably maybe routed around the wrong way. To be honest, I would have to have a look at another car to see exactly how it's meant to go. And funnily enough, we've got one right there. So if you, not right now, but if you want to just crawl underneath and have a look at that line there, and I can see those bolts up the top there. I reckon, I'm pretty sure it has been worked on.
But that's definitely missing something on that clip.
And just see they've put it through here and all that, and it comes down to there, no problem. But just have a look at that one and move this one. It's not hard to clip that in, but that might stretch this line to clip it in, because it's probably meant to be routed possibly a different way. But if you want to have a look at it, you can see where it goes on around this side here. But where you can see the clip right up the top there with nothing in it. So anyway, I'll just have a look at that one and just change it around. And it's not a big deal. Obviously it works the way it is, but again, the Toyota engineers did it for a reason. Now, there's a bit of oil here. So again, that aftermarket gasket. So has anyone been in the transmission since this was done? Any transmission oil flushes, anything like that? So it's probably not a bad idea, since it's got an aftermarket cork gasket, to drop the pan and put the genuine one on there. And that'll give it a bit of a transflush, because the bit of oil at the gasket there, and cork gaskets, I just don't like retightening those, Scott. It's the old Ford Holden thing. I call it like those clamps, the old Ford Holden thing, all the old cars, that's what they had. This is a new generation Toyota quality gaskets and clamps and stuff. And, that's why we love them, we use them. And that bit of oil there, that's going to be from the pan. And there's a chance we could nip it up and it'll fix it. But it could be already over tightened. These are meant to be something like 4.5 Newton meters, these bolts. But again, that's with the original genuine gasket. So there's a bit of, I think that's just the grease blowing off from there. Yeah, it is. It's just blowing, making a bit of mess on the diff here. Right, so we're just having a quick look around. This video is not going to cover everything in an inspection. Brake pads, you've got plenty of meat there. You must have replaced them sometime recently. Just having a quick look around and see if there's anything really obvious that we can fit into this video, because we've gone a bit over time. Sorry about that, people, to give you too much information. We're sorry, aren't we, that we've taken so long? You need to say sorry as well.
Sorry.
Okay, so...
That's been changed.
Yeah.
I didn't butcher it though.
I'd say I'd put a new plug and washer on that if that was my car.
Sure.
And while the plug's off,
Yeah.
I'd actually get some paint and just go and give it a touch. I just can't stand that bit of rust there like that.
never
That's
noticed
just
it.
what I'm like
It's
there,
been
you
on
know.
horse for a while.
People, I'm fussy, you know what I mean? So a bit more of a wash down as well. I can see that bit of corrosion like on the bottom of the fuel filter. And I've noticed that in a few places. You've been on a couple of beach runs at all? Or no, nothing like that?
No.
No? Okay. I'll just give it a bit more of a wash underneath, sort of road grime type wash. I'd be just giving a bit of a wash out, you know. I've noticed a little, it's not bad, but I just see a bit of this corrosion type looking, you know, in a couple of places I've noticed. And even like on the heads of these bolts type thing is what I was looking at, you know, just that kind of colour.
Yeah.
You know, and even I see the heads of these screws and that, you know what I mean? Like I'm just sort of going, you know, these, that's what I mean. I've noticed it around a bit, you know.
I live near the beach.
Ah, that'll be it then. Right, so good luck. So a bit of inox like that MX3, MX4, any of that, a little bit of, because you live, do you want to tell everyone what suburb you live in? I reckon they're going to come looking for your Prado. There's probably about 1,000 in that suburb. No, it's all good. Okay, so what else? Anything else? We're going to wrap it up. I reckon that's it. We could have a quick look at these. We have plenty of pads there as well. We'll check for playing the wheel. Have you ever changed your wheel bearings yet?
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that's overdue based on averages. You better come around behind me here so you don't, otherwise you'll end up in the camera. All right, so what we'll do, we'll check for playing the wheel bearings, another important one, but hey everybody, nearly 300, just under? Nearly 300,000 Ks, and guess what?
94.
Once again, not much to see here, and only thing there is to see, I'm going to say, is always pretty much due to aftermarket, like a little bit longer. I'm not saying don't mod your suspension, I'm just saying if it's a little bit longer, a little bit more movement, that's a little bit of grease at the propeller shaft, a little bit over lube maybe, transmission, aftermarket cooler, little leak, slight installation issue. Otherwise, everything looks good. Give it a clean up and some inox. That bloody beach is that salt air, you know, it's just sort of getting on things. You know, a bit of surface rust on things, not too bad. See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, that, you know, so just kind of regular washes with a bit of water underneath. And see on the shelf there, see that blue can, Lanox, what is that saying? Grab that can. What is it, MX what?
I don't have my glasses.
Hey, spin it.
MX4.
MX4, that's it. You want to just get some of that stuff onto things and it's going to be beautiful. All right, let's wrap this one up. Catch you next video. Subscribe, turn the bell on. See ya.